Y'all see this? This is all you. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause because you all made this happen. So let's go through your comments and let's talk about your comments when it comes to Maschine 3.0. Chill Squad, what it do? Welcome back to the channel. If you're not part of the Chill Squad, my name is Avidan Smith and I help creatives find their unique sound and to live a purpose-driven life. So if that is you, join the Chill Squad, join the community, and just sit back, relax. We're gonna get right into this, not gonna waste any bit of your time. But before we do that, I want you all to take some time to let me know where you're watching from. Let's have some conversations because we're gonna go through all your comments. So for those of you who are new, you didn't comment yet, you can comment on this video, but make sure you let me know where you're watching from so we can go ahead and get to know each other. All right, let's get into this. So I'm gonna switch over to your comments because this is gonna be a fun video. Make sure I full screen this. All right, so first comment we're gonna read off is from FedEx and Man. Native Instruments should give the software updates / upgrades to Native Instruments hardware owners for free. I don't care if they bought them used as well. Akai does MPC3 for free. Native Instruments, they should stick to selling sample packs. All right, so I understand how you feel about this, and I did respond to your comment, but I'm going to respond vocally just to give a better breakdown. I understand desiring that this should be free. Of course, if you were already invested hundreds or thousands of dollars into Maschine, you probably would want this to be, you know, at a better discount or for free. Duly noted. However, to say that they should give this out for free diminishes the value of the product. When things are free, and this, don't take my word for it, when things are free, people don't value as much and people don't invest in themselves enough. That's not my opinion. That's actual fact of human nature and human psychology of people. When we get a lot of free updates on things, 9 times out of 10 we don't nearly value it as much if we haven't invested. Now, Akai has a business model with MPC3 for free, and I'm not familiar with Akai and MPC3, but MPC3 is a different audience altogether from Native Instruments. This is a different brand of people, and this is a different market of people. So while I do get your point, what works for MPC3 and Akai will work for them, but it may not work for Native Instruments and their business model, which, again, I'm not going to say I'm in full agreement with it, because to show you I'm meeting you eye to eye with this, Kontakt and Guitar Rig, I personally believe, should have been regular upgrades like they were from before. Like when you went from Kontakt 4 to Kontakt 5 and to Kontakt 6, like those, you wasn't charged for those, but the minute they get to Kontakt 7, then now there's a charge. No, Kontakt 8, my bad. When they get to Kontakt 8, there's a charge, and Guitar Rig 7, there's a charge now. So I do agree with you partially that some of these should be for free. And for the most part, their updates are for free. The expansion packs are free, and you get all the plugins. All of those updates have been free. But lately, when it comes to some of their long line products, they haven't been as free as much. Now, we may not agree with it, but I would say it's better to look into the value first. And if the value really hasn't changed, then we make our argument, and then we go ahead and make our voices heard more on, well, hey, you're not offering a higher level of value. Why are we paying for this? So that's why I said with Maschine 3, we should wait to see how does this look. Now, someone did make a comment on Maschine 3 in comparison to FL Studio. I'm going to get to that when I get down to that video, to that comment, but I definitely do understand where you're coming from. Next comment, the Red Portal says, I'm looking forward to this. I love your videos. Keep it up, man. Thanks again. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Comments like these really do mean a lot. If you take the time just to leave a comment like this, trust me, I appreciate it. And if I don't respond right away, to some of you who have been watching the channel, if you're watching this video, if I haven't responded right away, take this video as me trying to do better. I'm trying to do better in responding to you all within at least 24 hours. Saturdays are my off days, so if you leave a comment on a Saturday or a Friday night and you don't see me respond until Sunday or Monday, it's because Saturdays is usually I have off from doing any type of work. So that's my rest day. So I will get to you as soon as possible, but I'm working on responding as much as possible. Carlos Branch 9106 says, if this upgrade is more than 40 to 50 bucks, I'm taking all my Native Instruments gear of the to the pawn shop ASAP. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I found this funny when I first found. I'm finding it funny again. I got a brand new MPC 1 Plus and a brand new Key 37 also still in the box. I think their stuff is dope, but they definitely need to reward our loyalty to their brand. Bro, I love your comment. Don't, I'm not laughing at you. I just love your comment so much because I get the notion. And trust me, I'm not trying to sell you all to believe what I believe when it comes to anything. I'm just saying, for me, I get this so much that if I don't like this, I'm going to the extreme and I am going to get the bottom dollar back from this because I'm that upset. So I get you and I feel you. And listen, if it's not to your liking at all, listen, that's how you vote with your wallet. I'll say for you, those of you watching, follow after Carlos Branch. Matter of fact, Native Instruments, if you're watching this video, these are your customers speaking. And I'm doing you the favor of showing you what your customers are saying through this video form, because for the most part, you're not going to go through everyone's comments in these videos. So for me to make a video with their comments, this is a way for them to be seen and for a way for you all to go ahead and see, should we go through and charge for Maschine 3.0? I almost said MPC 3. Sean Keaton, the HNIC. Bro, I have to clap for you with that name. I'm a sample producer and I definitely don't need this. My setup isn't perfect, but it doesn't stop me from producing bangers. My brother, I wish I could show you my setup right now. This is about as much space that I have. My desk is small. I have a ultra wide right here, and I got my PC right here and my Maschine Plus right here. My keyboard isn't even hooked up. It's down here when I need it, and I'll hook it up when I need it. So it's like, when you're talking about having a setup and it's not being the best, but you still produce bangers, we right here, bruh. I understand you, I get it, and I know how that feels. So that's why I said, I said I love that for you, because I can relate to that so much. So you had a follow-up and you said, hey, thanks fam. I'm not trying to put you down or anything, but this showed up on my feed and I respect your hustle, but it's just not for me. And you know what? I respect the fact that you took the time to voice how you felt. I don't take any offense to it, because this is you saying, hey, I am somebody who is a sample producer. I've been doing this and I don't need all this. This is not for me. When I said do not ignore this, I'm talking to sample producers who probably want to look into some other options, because stem separation, per key, per scene tempo, and the MIDI editing, which some other people, we got into that later. I saw that this is something that you all could benefit from. So hopefully when Maschine unveils how the extent of their stem separation, that's going to be the key. What is the extent of their stem separation? Which again, I'm gonna save most of my talk on this when we get to the FL part. So let's keep going. Next, we got JFK Productions 876. It would be cool if they added independent note repeat on separate pads. Like I said, that would be. I would actually like to see something like that. Craftmaster 3 said, watch me ignore Maschine 3. Bruh, you can, but if you're a Maschine user, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just saying. Brahma Bull says this update is gonna be crack, bruh. Like, I'm seeing so many possibilities when it comes to this. So yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to this. Misery Code Beats 1722 says, when you sample at MIDI, are you talking about sampling something you made using MIDI inside of Maschine? Honestly, I like resampling in Maschine. I just open a new empty pad and sample internal with the controller. And when I say I gotta take more time with it, it's the way I use Maschine is different. I haven't, like, even with all the years I've been using Maschine, I still haven't used this thing to the fullest capabilities, because for the most part I've worked in my sample style mostly and haven't really expanded. That's on me. That's me just being honest and transparent with you. So when you said, I took it that you spent lots of time with it since you made a video on the topic, I say definitely lots of people will see this and base their opinion on it, man. Like, yeah, I am somebody who is willing to open more into it, because when I say MIDI, I'm talking, let's just say if I found a MIDI soundtrack or a MIDI sample of, let's just say, the Mario Brothers theme, right? And I wanted to sample the Mario Brothers theme in MIDI format. It is a painful process, a more painful process, sampling MIDI on Maschine as opposed to when I first started sampling MIDI on FL Studio, where they track out the samples and there's sounds already pre-established, or it's easier to establish those sounds without it sounding jumbled or what have you. Now with Maschine, because you have different groups, you more than likely would like some of those sounds in different groups. So using Maschine for that and routing those instruments through the different groups and things of that nature has been more of a pain for me, as opposed to using FL Studio or any other program that I used in the past. So that's just my opinion. But again, I may need to take more time with it to make it a lot easier, because I'm not going to say that it's impossible or it's hard. It's just hard for me right now because I haven't put in the work, and that's just me being honest. Ernest M 8884 says, I can do $99, but anything over that is a bit steep for me at the moment. I'm just a hobbyist, not really selling my music, just sharing with friends and family. And bro, I feel that. Honestly, I would say $99 should be the price point, considering that that's the price point for Contact 8, that's the price point for Guitar Rig 7. So for them to put it way above that, which I just said I can see if they're going to go that high, considering if it's a top line product. What I see happening for new people who probably haven't ever purchased Maschine ever, it may be probably $199 or $299. But for people who may want to get an upgrade, it may just be $99 for them. So for those of us who have an upgrade, it may just be $99 for us. Or who knows, we may get a limited time window where we get grandfathered in to Maschine 3 for those of us who have been rocking with Native Instruments for this long. So who knows what may happen with that. Triple Beam 23 says, one of the smartest things I ever did was just buy a nice MIDI controller and Serato sampler. I know guys have spent thousands and I'm here making the same quality 10 times over. Bro, get it how you can, man. I will tell people in a heartbeat to do whatever it takes for you to make your best sound. If that's what it takes for you to make your best sound, stick to that and keep going forward over it. For people who want to use, Maschine and buy into that, I don't fault them either, because some people want to buy the sounds and the sounds sound better for them, and it allows them to make the best sample work that they could possibly make. That may work for them, but what works for them may not work for you. So I'm happy for you. G Smith 11172 says the MPC beta is free and stems was only $9.99. That's a great deal. Again, MPC is a different animal altogether compared to Maschine. Even though they're similar with the touchpads, MPC is dedicated for people who do not want to be connected to the computer at all, where you can literally create away from the computer just on the physical software in itself. And for people who want to do that, you're going to have a different business model altogether, and just even the way you create music is going to look different than everybody else. So for that much, I can see why MPC is going in that direction, but I can't fault Maschine for not following after them, because Maschine, especially with their Maschine Plus, is more of a hybrid model where they cater to people who want to go the standalone route, but for people who also want to go the full out music production route on their computer and everything. Mycelia Mob says FL has had stems for almost a year for free to all who own a license. Virtual DJ has had stems for so long I can't remember when they added it. So here's the thing, and I'm glad you spoke about this, because you're one of the people who I saw who talked about FL, and I really wanted to go into this. So for one, FL Studio, you're going to need to get the beta version of this. So here's the thing with the FL stem separation that I want to go into, because I do believe there should be some context given towards this so that people who are FL users have the full context. You're going to need to get the beta version, which you need to find on the forums. If you download the latest version of FL on the website, you will not have access to stem separation. That's one. Two, when you get the beta version, your library that's in your regular FL Studio is not going to be the same unless you put it close to the routed to the same library. You're going to make sure you route it to the same library, because if you don't, then you're going to have separate libraries. And two, the actual stem separation in itself is really good. It's really good. I'm late to the party using it. I used it over the weekend because I've been more focused on Maschine in the past year. And actually in half a year, I didn't even, for those of you who follow this channel story, I didn't even have a computer to use for like half a year. So for the past 6 months, matter of fact, it was from September of last year up until I would say March of this year that it took me to get my computer back up and running. So I didn't have a computer to work from, and when I finally got back, I just been back on Maschine and just regular recording. So I missed the boat, missed the news and all of that. And when I tried it out this weekend, I was so impressed with it that, you know, I'm going to be using this a lot more often. So I do have a stance and an expectation for Maschine now when it comes to the when it comes to the stem separation. But here's the one flaw I will say about FL stem separation. It is limited to 4 different stems, and that is drums, bass, instruments, and voices. That's really good for people who are just sample producers and for the most part, right? But here's the thing. When you want to get a little bit more intricate and you want to do more than just take out the bass, you want to do more than take out the drums, you want to do more than take out the voice, limit the voice use. What happens when the instruments has 3 to 5 instruments in a sample? You can't separate those instruments. So if Native Instruments creates a way in Maschine where you can even separate those instruments, then I will be impressed, and I will say the price is even more justifiable in that case. But if it's just like all the other stem separations and it does not raise the bar at all, then nah, we gotta call a spade a spade. Holla Sounds has said the Maschine software looks a lot like Ableton with that loop feature, and yet another brand getting stems. My DAW Reason has no stems coming, and I'm annoyed by that. I'm not interested in making samples out of other people's music, but I definitely want the ability to easily make acapellas. I want just the vocals to make my own music around from mostly unknown or less known rap music. UK and USA, so much great rap that was released on mixtapes in the mid 2000s. That is such a great idea, man. I really will say for you, just if you've been watching up to this far, if you have FL Studio, if you have a license with them, definitely get the beta and go for it, because immediately with FL Studio you could rip the vocals. Here's the thing though, you said you have Reason, right? Reason allows for VXTs. Now you can let me know yourself. I used to use Reason back in the day, but I didn't fully get into it. My father tried to get me on Reason. This was back when FL Studio was still called Fruity Loops. And for those of you who are old Fruity Loops users or FL users, you know people would chastise this and call and make fun of you if you made beats on FL Studio. So everyone would try to get you on Reason, Cubase, or Pro Tools back in the day. My father being one of them. He wanted me to be on Cubase. He wanted me to be on Reason, anything but FL Studio. So that's why I have experience using both Cubase and FL and Reason. But with Reason, if you are allowed to import VSTs, which I think you do. It's been a minute. It's been some years, like well over a decade since I used Reason. But if you're able to import VSTs and if you have Maschine, then I would say invest in Maschine in a sense as an add-on to your Reason. And if you can do that, then you can use the stem separation feature with Maschine into your Reasons. And that'll be a way that you can get your stems. Luigi Code Loopy 8888 says, greetings. Will the possibility of delay compensation be included with the update of Maschine 3? In fact, you know that there are plugins that for more qualitative sampling inevitably have a slight but annoying delay, which in other DAWs can be corrected by aligning the tracks perfectly. Thank you, Lewis. So I'm not exactly sure when it comes to that with Maschine 3. We won't know until they talk more about it. But if that delay is still there, that is something that I do believe that they can correct, definitely with updates, especially now with Native Instruments working very closely with Isotope, who already has their own stem separation software. I do believe that this will be something to look forward to, and it may be just be top line simply because of the partners Native Instruments has working with them on multiple projects. Gregory Williams 9683 says, LOL, FL Studio gets free updates for life. I got the producer bundle pack back in 2016 and received a free update ever since. Plus stem separation for free. Native Instruments definitely needs to step their game up. People who purchase their gear should not have to pay anything for updates. It should be free. So again, as I said earlier, it all depends on different business models. ImageLine's business model is not the same business model as Native Instruments. They have two totally different business models. ImageLine comes out with an update on almost a yearly basis. If not a yearly basis, there is a new FL Studio. And if it's not a yearly basis, it's within a few years. The last time we went from Maschine 2.0 to 3.0 has been nearly 10 years now. So if not about that, I think Maschine 2.0 came out, 2016, 2015? Between 2015 and 2016, maybe 2014. I don't think it's 2014. Y'all can fact check me on this, but I know it's been in that ballpark since we went from 2.0 to 3.0. So for Native Instruments, not Maschine, but for Native Instruments to do their updates on Maschine in that fashion is going to look a whole lot different. And also too, for FL Studio, we have to remember that the update on Maschine is not just going to be incorporated for computer use, but it's going to be incorporated in the software use, the hardware use. So if this could be used for the hardware on Maschine Plus on the go, that's going to be a different animal altogether. And that in itself is going to be worth a price justification in comparison to FL Studio. That's just my opinion on that. Odine 1980 says, wrong reply person anyways. You got any idea what it's going to cost? I know you commented somewhere in here. I got to find it. But when I get to, I'm going to respond to your comment more. But I believe it's going to cost anywhere from $100 to $300. I'm saying at the highest, it'll be $300 for new adopters, but from people who have been with Maschine just need an update, it may just cost $100. Holla Sound says that was just a gimmick and it worked, and now they have peaked at their user base. They are now to put more and more things exclusively for extra purchase or subscription. And that's the thing about FL. FL has an amazing run. I am not gonna shut down FL or Image Line at all. As a matter of fact, from being one of the most made fun of DAWs that were out there 20 years ago when I started, FL Studio now is the most searched DAW on YouTube. When it comes to tutorials, out of any DAW, FL Studio reigns supreme right now. So I get it. It's climbing, and it's still climbing. So their business model is going to look a bit different. And Native Instruments compared to FL Studio, in all fairness, they have more premium sounds than FL. And that's just me being objective. When it comes to what you can get when you buy a complete ultimate package or a complete ultimate producer signature selection package, you get so many premium sounds that it is worth the investment. And that we have to look at it as that, where you are spending a lot more money on your equipment, your software, it's an investment. And some people can make the best out of their investment by spending less, and some people can make the best out of their investments by spending more. It all depends on the producer. I tell people I live by this. I'm gonna show you what I live by. Like I said, I've been making beats since October 2004, right? And one of the things that's always driven me, the reason why I stayed on FL Studio for so many years and I still use it to this day, is because it's not about the machine, it's about the man behind the machine making the beats. Rooftop Music DFW says Native Instruments making paid software upgrade part of their business strategy is the beginning of the end for their enthusiast production sector following. It doesn't make sense. If you're true to your product and its relativity to the community, you don't charge the community so they can continue to use it. Stem separation, most of us had it for a while now, whether used or not. So here's the thing. And I'm not going to say I fully disagree with you. In fact, you're one of the people why I said I had to make this video, because I do understand where you're coming from, but I wanted to make a fair challenge and just talk to you all directly about this. When you look at the enthusiasts and people who are wanting to spend a little bit more, they care more about value than price. The enthusiast is looking at how much value am I going to get out of this thing over the price that I'm spending. This is why you have cars like Mercedes-Benz and cars like the Rolls-Royce Phantom, right? These are super high-line cars, and most people who are looking at cars are saying, why would you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a car? Why would you need that? Well, there are some people who have the value of they love how they feel inside of the car over anything else. And you have to look at it as, for an enthusiast, they love the option of having stem separation in a software that they love using. That's just maybe one idea. Now, that may not be every enthusiast, but you have to consider that for those people who value the Native Instruments stem separation or per scene tempo or MIDI editing or whatever else they're going to add, the new interface and how they're going to do everything, the value may drive themselves to spend the $100 extra to however much more they're asking. Now, price does come to an effect where the price exceeds the value. And to some people, which to you, and it's fine, that's why I don't fully disagree with you, to you, you don't see the value in that, because in your mind, you see stem separation. We've had that already. We've had stem separation in Virtual DJ, FL Studio, so many other softwares we've had stem separation. So it's like, I'm not really impressed by that. So for you, the value may not be that high. So it's understandable and it's fair for you in that instance. But what I'm going at is the enthusiasts, they may actually still buy this off the shelf as soon as it goes up. And that's just something to consider. Sativia Violet says, Northern Cali, thank you for your videos, full of game every time. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Cali, man. Thanks for coming through. Leogo Live says, I went MPC X last year and mothballed my machine. I laughed the last time I seen that. I laughing again, man. Excuse me. Definitely I get it. Listen, MPC users in the chat, let me know your thoughts about the MPC versus FL Studio. No, not FL Studio. MPC versus Maschine. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Not so good 9449 says, how do you think the MPC X compares to MPC Live 2? So for those of you who are watching this, give an answer to that question. I'm not an MPC user, and I would love to know more about MPC, especially from you all, since we're building this community. Here we go. My dude, Odine 1980. Just got my MK3 a few months ago, and it pisses me off. I'm gonna have to pay for 3.0. Big question is, what is the cost gonna be? And like I said, I'm expecting $199. And when I say $199, I'm thinking about off the shelf. I'm hoping that they're gonna do an upgrade for $999, but for this seems like it's gonna be a massive upgrade, so I'm not really sure. So I'm always expecting for the worst. I'm expecting that they're gonna kind of like really charge up there. Excuse me. Again, with the help for this video, we can help probably shift their opinions on how they're gonna charge this out. Because get it, listen, they are watching these videos. Whether they're gonna let you know it or not, they are watching these videos. So like I said, I'm expecting anywhere from $9.99 to $1.99. Jack Jonan said $2.99 would be wild. It would be. But I said I'm not gonna put nothing past this company. So that's the highest I'm seeing it going. But hopefully it's not that high. Native Instruments, please. Matter of fact, hold up. Native Instruments, please. Do not make this $2.99. Please. We as your community are asking you, please do not make this $2.99. Certified Beat said, I use the software in my DAW as a sound mod. Just make routing easier. That's all I need. If not, then no thanks. Respect to that. Akala Co-Engineering 8463. I remember you from one of my other videos, man. Thank you for coming out. He says, LOL, I am not excited because of stem separation. I got a million tools right now that can do that. Why would I be excited that Maschine does it now too? Maybe if the workflow is right, it's a plus. But other than that, I'm not really excited. Man, listen, if you got a million tools that can do that, I need you to let me know how in the world are you using a million tools? I'm obviously just playing with you right now, but nah, that's fair. That's fair for you. You have been exposed to that, but I make these videos in the context of we are going to have the matter of fact. Let me give you some perspective. Over 1,000 people saw this video in less than a week. There's a chance that there are people who have never ever used a beat making software in their life, and Maschine 3 may be the first thing they touch to make a beat. Excuse me. So with that in mind, I release these videos and I show my excitement because I'm not just excited for me, I'm excited for the community, because you're gonna have people who have never made beats before have the option to make beats with stem separation in a DAW that they don't have to step outside of their DAW to experience the experience other people are experiencing with their DAW. So that's why I get excited. Joe Murray 5506 says Maschine is too late. Just like the Pre-Sonos 7 upgrade, most people, I think, have those options elsewhere already instilled in their workflow. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not paying for overlap, see? Perhaps if it comes with complete, I might. I'm not sure if I even want to spend on that upgrade. Again, I have a lot of options elsewhere. For anybody just starting out, it's probably great though, but people who are already invested in their DAW, VSTs, effects, etc., probably not a good deal. And you see, I appreciate you for saying that, 'cause that's just what I said to the last comment. So we're on the same page. I'm speaking for the people who may just be starting out. For people who are probably well established, it probably isn't the best. For people who want to stay in one DAW, for people who stay mostly in Maschine, which is me these days, I sometimes would overlap and use FL, and I'll route Maschine as a VST in FL. But for the most times, I'm using Maschine to make my beats, especially if I just want to lay down an idea quick. Having stem separation in Maschine in itself is going to increase my workflow by like 10x. So I am excited to see how it's going to come out on Maschine. Before I get back to get to the last comment, shout out to G Smith from Columbus, Ohio. I shouted you out earlier. The last comment, and this is the one that really made me say I wanted to come on here and talk about this. Jason Dugas 8184 says, "Gah, fell for the clickbait. This video only applies for Maschine users." And I wanted to be fair, it's not exactly clickbait. The way I did the sample, and I blame my thumbnail. My thumbnail was saying Maschine 3.0 sample producers. Do not ignore this. Now I get it, sample producers was out there, so it's thinking like, you know, and my title says, why sample producers cannot ignore Maschine 3.0. So he made some really fair points in this. We had a discussion. I conversed with him more than anybody else, and he said a discussion about why someone who usually produces on MPC or DAW should consider Maschine would have been interesting. Missed opportunity, my dude. So you know what? I owned up and I said I'm going to take that opportunity now. So for those of you who are MPC users, for those of you who are DAW users, the reason why I personally believe that you should not pass up on Maschine 3.0, especially if you are a sample producer, because if you are you want to get into Maschine, right? And I've done talks about Maschine. I would even say for Maschine Plus, I would say go all out, invest in the Maschine Plus. Here's the reason why. When they put this on the DAW in itself, on the hardware itself, and you could start your beats and get the vibe anywhere you want to go, as a sample producer, being able to chop up those samples in Maschine in itself and do the stem separation on the hardware itself will increase your workflow, will increase your creativity, and you'll be able to have access to that creativity wherever you go. Now, I do think that Maschine should have better upgrades when it comes to their hardware, which we could possibly see that. But for the most part, if you are using Maschine, it is a great opportunity to use it, because Maschine's workflow compared to FL Studio, Maschine's workflow compared to Reason, Maschine's workflow compared to pretty much any other DAW is so quick and seamless, especially when it comes to making beats. That's the reason why I like being on Maschine. I have used FL Studio since October 2004. I'm not just saying this as somebody who is new to this. I've used both of these extensively. I started using Maschine in 2016, and what I can say, when you learn the workflow of Maschine, it speeds up the workflow that much faster. And I will say it's worth it. It's worth it if you're somebody who wants to really dig in and get your feet wet when it comes to speeding up your workflow, because if you could get your ideas out fast and get the songs done faster, then this puts you in a position to be at your best it puts you in a position not just to be at your best in many different environments if you got the Maschine Plus, but it puts you in a position to create more music more frequently and to really expand your love for beat making to a way that you never had before. That is my personal opinion. That's what it's done for me. And if that inspires you, great. If it doesn't, it's cool. We can still be friends. All right. And that is all of your comments. So I wanted to take the time to talk about MASCHINE 3.0 because as I looked at everyone else's videos with this, everyone's just giving more and more of their insight. Everyone is talking more and more about what they feel about the product. And y'all can hear me talk and everything all the time, but I want to make this more of a community and everything where we get to talk ourselves more about MASCHINE 3.0. Whether we like it or not, whether we agree or not, let's have a conversation. And I wanted to show that a conversation is welcomed on this channel. So if this is your first time here, this is going to be a little bit more what we do, building more community, because at the end of the day, we're not going to always agree. If I am on a mission to help you build your own unique sound and for you to live a purpose-driven life, there are going to be some things we're not going to agree on because we have our own set of fingerprints. We have been born to do things differently from each other, to sound differently from each other, and that's okay. So for those of you who are satisfied with this and this is your first time here, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, join the community. We're going to go ahead and have more videos come out like this. As you all can see, even on the banner, I'm changing things up and becoming a lot more focused in talking to you all more often, even how I talk to you all more often. I wanted this video to be a little bit more organic where I'm not just jump cutting all the time. The jump cuts this time was just, you know, to go to the next points and everything. But for the most part, even if I messed up, y'all saw, I'm leaving this in there. So you know that this is a real human talking to you and not, I am an AI bot. I am an AI. We ain't doing that here. So thank you all for watching. I do have an offer in the chat for those of you who would like to get your finger drumming skills up to a new level. For those of you who really want to go ahead and get better at beat making, whether you're using a DAW, whether you're using your keyboard, whether you're using Maschine, the pads, or even if you're using electric drums, I have a melodic subscription down in the description down below. Check it out. I'm also going to have a video at the end of this video talking more about that. So for those of you who are interested, check it out. At the end of that, I'm going to show you all a playlist, which is going to be right here, that will have more videos on Maschine. I appreciate you all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Don't mean to interrupt your video. I promise this won't take long. Have you heard of Melodics? If you haven't, I want you to take a look at this. Melodics is a learning tool that helps music producers learn how to finger drum better, play the keyboard better, or even use electronic drums better. This is something that if you are serious about your music production journey and you want to separate yourself from people who don't know music theory or who don't know how to play the keyboard or who don't know how to finger drum, this is for you. I would highly recommend buying this. I have a link down below. It is an affiliate link. I do get a financial kickback from this. It doesn't cost you extra, but it does benefit the channel if you do click on that. So I will encourage you to check out that link, and you will get a percentage off your next purchase with Melodics if you go ahead and sign up under me. So check it out down below. I'll catch you back in the video.